Have you ever asked yourself, where do I come from? How this makes me who I am? If we change every day and we know new places, new people every day, we should keep asking ourselves each time the same question. And each time we ask this, we should go deeper. This time I was asking myself this and I decided to go deeper. And then I went back to my home in Brazil. I have learned that I am beyond and below Earth. I am the people that came before me. I decided to do a family tree even, because it's something I always wanted to do since a long time ago. I'm just one face between so many. I not even know all of them. We forget their names. It gets more and more difficult to know our past, even if we have their DNA, their bones, their photos. We don't really have any story. We don't really know how they were. Who were they? Especially before internet, photography, or especially in a country that only exists since 500 years. So much of our history in Brazil is forgotten, erased, or even poorly told. So I felt pretty small. It is my turn now. I am alive. It is my generation. I am here after so many before me. But to be realistic, I will also be forgotten. Me and all of my attempts not to. Besides my family tree, I also did something I have never done before. I went to a cafe with my grandma, my mom, and my sister. As simple as this sounds, I have never done that. My grandma never told me stories, and now we are facing cancer, life, changes, time, and just now I was able to know her so much more, to know about her best friend, to ask her about advices, which she told me love and friends are the answer for life.
Marcou bastante que você mais gostou de ter namorado? Sem ser o vovô?
Tive um Valtinho, ele era evangélico. Isso eu gostei bastante dele. Você rodava o cabelo com 2 grampos aqui. De tarde se soltava, parecia que tinha passado chapinha nele. Bem assim.
It turns out that I didn't even knew my own grandma, and it feels like I would still be very far from her, far from understanding people from my own family, the same way that they probably see me as a stranger sometimes. So in the end, there is always a mystery. We don't really know our past, our people, our family, our informations. We also don't know our future, so the question of who I am starts to be so much more senseless. But it makes sense to see the sun. It still makes sense to watch the rain, to travel more, to make videos for myself and for others. But it doesn't make any sense to be who I am. I'm starting to think that there is no connection between from where I come, the language I speak, where do I go, which food I eat. And yet, arriving home, I decided to do a DNA test. And I know what you're probably thinking, because a lot of people in my family and friends, they are also very skeptical about it. I remember that one person in my family told, don't do this, like put this on trash, please don't do this, they're gonna literally duplicate myself. I mean, our fears are basically in very irrational places. And really, after surviving a pandemic in the whole world, I've learned to respect even more and admire even more the work of everyone in science. So I did it. I collected my saliva, sent them, and some months later I had those results in my platform here. So this one that I bought is not just for ancestry. I also wanted to know diseases or personal traits. For example, here, if I click in my genetic vulnerability, I know which risks I have higher or lower. And for example, if you have any question about what this means, they also explain a little bit. And this is my ancestry. As I was talking with my grandma, her grandma was an indigenous woman from South America. And she don't even know her name anymore. She don't even had so much contact with her. And all what we know is that she called like Maria, which is like a very common name to give when you can't even say the real name of the person. So I found really frustrating actually to know so little about my own family through my family. I am 77% European, I am 15 almost percent Africa and 8 kind of America. So that's exactly how Brazil was made. We have a lot of people that are coming from America, the majority that colonized we, because we had slavery, and they usually took this from indigenous people, but also from Africa. So that's basically nothing surprisingly new for me. But I do wanted to know where from Europe do I come. And here, for example, I already found out something that I had no idea. Like I'm 6% Jew, and I didn't even know that this was possible to see on genes. But they do, because as they are an ethnical group, they basically found out recently in a research that they would usually have the same gene, and I have this gene. So it means that I am 6% Ashkenazi Jew. And I feel anyway so inspired to search more about it, to find out more about it now. I'm also from Italy and, of course, Portugal. Eu falo português, né, gente? E como é muito louco a gente falar uma língua, e como a nossa língua é muito baseada nos nossos genes, e como os nossos genes baseiam as nossas línguas, e como até sabendo que eu sou 6% judia, eu agora também falo alemão, é tipo, what? Africa. I also come here from Maghreb. I don't know if I'm speaking right, but I guess yes. West Africa, like Nigeria and Ghana, exactly the places that they usually took slaves, and Kenya and Uganda. I mean, so different places. There's nothing coming from in between. In America, they also were not so specific. They just cover Central and South America as one thing, which I found confused anyways, because I know that there was so many people and they were different. I have been already through many places around Brazil, and it's so magical to see how different they are from we in Brazil. I mean, everyone in South America talks Spanish, and they even think that Brazil talks Spanish as well, but we don't. There's really like a separation between Brazil and every other country. And this you can see not just in the language, you can also see in the people and how they live and how they look and how cultures are there. And it feels like I still have questions about this one, because it's exactly this that I wanted to discover more, because my grandma don't know the name of this other grandma, and I sadly know that this history was very vanished. It's just a little frustrating anyways, but this gave me at least some confirmation that 8% comes from there, and I know that this 8% is alive inside myself. I could get really emotional also. They have here maternal, paternal, and also Neanderthal. I found this interesting as well because I love watching so many documentaries about Neanderthal people. And in general, they just have also pharmacological compatibility if you just want to know if you could have any allergies or what will work in you. For example, I would totally recommend, if you are someone that is taking medicines, to do this one, because they would even recommend you the usual dose if you should take more or less. For me, basically, if I would take any depressants or even muscle relaxants, I should consider like lower doses, or they would tell me if I would have any adverse effects. And personal traits I found so interesting as well, because it's like me, how they would know how I look if they have no photos, for example, they just have my saliva, and they figure this all out, which is insane. Hair texture, hair color, they have it all figured out. My mental, I mean, even my mental agility they have here, and I discovered that I have an average mental agility. They even find it out that I have a nasal prominence, which is like, I had a very strong bone here, as you can see. That's why I also have my nose, and basically here I have a nasal prominence. And they know it, and they know it from my saliva. Right, just one last history. Left-handed. I was also sharing these results with my family, right? I haven't filmed it, but I did it as part of this ritual because they were some of the people that were very skeptical. Now they even want to do this also. So I was doing this with them, and as I saw this one here that tells that I am 51% to be lefty and not what I am today. I am a right-handed person, but in my genes they're telling that I have 51% to be lefty, which is like, what? Then I was like, this is weird, like, why they're telling this here, why am I, this is wrong even. But then I find out with my family, in this video that we did, that I was always taking stuff with my left hand. I was always using my left hand. And my dad basically bought a spoon that is turned for right-handed people, and he kept on educating me to use my right hand. That's why I am maybe right hand today. I realized that there's so much in our genes that could tell who we are, and there's so much in our history that will keep telling how these genes will influence and be right or wrong. This could go for any disease or any other things. So basically, totally recommend you to do this as well. And maybe if you want to do the same one that I did, you can. In the link in my description, I will leave you a code for a discount, and you can find more about it, because you can do the simple version just for ancestry, and you can do the one that I also did, which is advanced, and you would have access to your diseases and all this as well. I hope that if you are a little skeptical, this helped you to find more motivation to even consider it. The link will be in the description, and let's continue. As I'm making this video, I'm asking myself, does anyone understand that I carry this much inside myself? Do I carry this much inside myself? Thousands of years of people, of family, of parts of me. Does anyone from 200 years ahead from now is going to see this video? But yet, here I am. Am I my genes? If my videos, my words, my history stays, and my body vanish, maybe I'm not biology either. I am sound. I'm words. I'm an idea. Life is so precious. Maybe it all started with a feeling. So maybe to live is about becoming bigger so that later you can become smaller.